Y'all saw the thumbnail. Are y'all watching women's sports? If you are, then you already know what I'm about to talk about. You already know what the drama is. You already know what the tea is. But it's not just drama and tea. I'm going to give you some good along with the bad. We're going to talk about everything plaguing the WNBA. I am Tasha Pierce, and this is the weekly wrap up. Imagine building a house. A small little team of you built this house. But over the years, the team got a little bigger because, of course, it's going to take years. You're building a goddamn house. The team gets a little bigger, get more help. People start laying these bricks. You guys get tired. You get old. The younger folks come in and they start adding bricks and building this house. And now the house is built. And then one single person comes in and says, I'm going to paint a mural on this wall over here. You think that'll be great in this house? And everybody is like, yes, that'll be fantastic in the house. And this one person paints the fucking mural. And then everybody who visits the house after that says, you built a hell of a house. Wait a minute. What about all the people who laid the bricks one by one? What about those people? Nope. This mural makes the house. Now we all know that the mural wouldn't be shit if it wasn't a house around it, right? We know that. Y'all already know what I'm talking about too. I am talking about the house that so many women built, the WNBA. So we need to discuss the horrible shit that's been going on around the WNBA this season. All the drama that's been swirling around the season. On one hand, we've got some record-breaking performances. We got Asia Wilson breaking the single season scoring record. Yeah, Caitlin Clark coming in and setting the league on fire. And then you had Nafisa Collier, 82 points in 2 games in the playoffs. What? So all of these things are happening. And shout out to Caitlin Clark for her amazing rookie season. Along with Caitlin coming in were Angel Reese, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink. But Caitlin Clark is the person who has brought the most new eyes to the league, no doubt. But all that glitters isn't gold. There's a dark side to this newfound attention. And it's got the WNBA veterans, fans, coaches speaking out. See, some of these new fans are not really fans of the game at all. They're fans of what they think Caitlin Clark represents. They saw Iowa, they saw heterosexual female, and they saw white. And they have decided to make her the mascot of their toxicity. The league's been real slow to react. The league, as a matter of fact, too slow in trying to shut things down. Meanwhile, veteran players and some of the other rookies, many of them being Black women and LGBTQ women, are getting bombarded with hate speech. And this is not okay. It's not okay to abuse people. Not about the game. You know, I've heard a lot of chatter about Angel Reese not being able to finish under the rim. She grabs a bunch of rebounds, but she cannot seem to finish consistently under the rim. That is a valid basketball critique. When you start talking about their hair, their sexuality, their color, their uh, comparing them to animals, talking about slavery, when you start doing that, then it becomes a problem. And these same people, if anyone criticizes Caitlin Clark, and I mean valid basketball criticism, not being ugly towards Caitlin Clark with the bigoted comments as well. If anyone makes a valid basketball criticism of Caitlin Clark, those same fake fans will be like, well, what do you expect? She's only 22 years old, blah, blah, blah. Forgetting that Angel Reese is also 22 years old. And look, that's something that we're kind of used to in the Black community. People seem to age us up, think we're grown a whole hell of a lot faster. In fact, if it's a 16-year-old girl, they would call her a lot of times a woman, black. But when it's a 16-year-old white girl, they will call her a girl or a child, teen even. They'll say a woman when they're talking about us. That's a whole different animal for a whole different day. What I'm saying is, there are a bunch of women who have been building the WNBA for years through thick and thin. To see them disrespected and sidelined in their own house is just wrong. It's wrong. It's like, again, working hard to build a business, only to have someone else come in, swoop in, take all the credit, and then watch as your coworkers are harassed and mistreated. We need not just the LGBTQ people to speak up, not just the Black people to speak up. We need the league. Now, of course, they have put out a statement um, at the end of the season. And it feels like, honestly, it feels like this happened after a fan made disparaging comments to Caitlin Clark during the second game of the playoffs, the second game, the elimination game for the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark had words with a fan. She approached the refs and said she wanted that fan out of there, and they got that fan out of there. I don't have no clue what the man said to her. He's sitting courtside, and whatever he said pissed her off. She went and told the refs, and she had that person removed. And then after that situation, the league spoke out. Make of that what you will. I like the fact that a lot of the women are joining the Unrivaled League, and they are taking their story in their own hands. We're going to see the difference in the fandom and Unrivaled in that's coming out in January. That is a 3-on-3 league, though. We're going to see a difference in the fan base for Unrivaled versus what we're seeing in the WNBA, because Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson, the biggest name in women's basketball, those two are not participating in Unrivaled this year. So this would be a good litmus test to see if the absence of Caitlin Clark, number one, uh, inhibits the growth of Unrivaled, which is this is the first year. You're not expecting it to do doorbusters, but I think I will be talking about Unrivaled as much as I can because, I want everybody to watch women's sports. However, I also think that it will be good to see whether or not this toxic element follows these women basketball players without Caitlin Clark to the Unrivaled League. We're going to see if these people are just fans of Clark, which they say they are, or if they really are fans of basketball and that they are going to um, transition from the WNBA to Unrivaled. Unrivaled again is it's co-founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, both athletes in the WNBA. In fact, some of the highest level athletes in the WNBA. And they have already started with we're going to have a competitive salary. People are going to be offered their worth in the league. I really hope that it does well. I really do, because I am all for women's sports, and I'm also all for players having an ownership stake. What they're playing in. We can't let a group of non-basketball fans just continue to hijack what the sport that we say we love. but they've done it. They were successful. The WNBA needs to protect their players and make it very clear that hate has no place in their league. How simple is that? It's time to choose between temporary gains of the money that's coming in and this revenue, and all of these eyes are on your product, but you got to tiptoe around one player in order to keep these eyes here. That's a temporary gain. Because one thing about women's sports, a woman can decide, okay, now it is time for me to start a family, or just it's time to retire. What if Caitlin Clark makes a decision like that? We're just going to milk this child until, she decides that it's too much for her? Or are you going to make a stand and a statement right now today? We have to look at the long-term health of the game. Because if you think it was ugly this year, it'll probably be uglier next year. We got a league bursting with talent, stories of triumph, stories of resilience. The grittiest competition that you're going to find is right here in the WNBA. But overshadowing all of that are the ugly undercurrents of hate and disrespect. We saw it with the incident where DiJonai Carrington accidentally poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during the playoffs. It was a simple basketball play. It's the shit that happened to everybody who's ever hooped. Everybody who has ever hooped has had that happen. The internet blew up, spewing racist and homophobic slurs at DiJonai and the rest of the Sun players. So Alyssa Thomas, a veteran of the Sun, big part of their success, she spoke out saying it's a lot of hurtful, hateful speech out there that's happening, and it's unacceptable. But this isn't hating on Caitlin Clark. Number one, she's not immune from what's going on around her. That's number one. Number two, she has been, in a lot of cases, abused as well. I'm not 100% sure if it's been to the extent of some of the stuff that has happened to other players, but any abuse is still abuse. I don't care what level it rises to. Any abuse is still abuse. If it is not about the game, and maybe her behavior on the floor, some of that, because we've seen things, but if you criticize those things, you get called one thing and then they bring up somebody else. It's a whole bunch of whataboutisms, and I'm not going to get into the whataboutism gang. This isn't about hating on Caitlin, because again, compared to me, she is a child. Angel Reese is a child. Camila Cardoso is a child. But guess what else? I'm damn near old enough to be Asia Wilson's mama. No, I am old enough to be Asia Wilson's mama. Oh my gosh. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Asia Wilson, I think, is younger than my son. Anywho, Caitlin Clark is an incredible athlete. She deserves all the accolades that she's getting. Shout out for her, Rookie of the Year. But let's be real. The WNBA has been thriving long before she stepped on the court. Maybe shit went supernova when she got into the league, but the league was already growing. And it's not impossible. It's the same way I said, I don't know why I got to say this to grown people. It's not impossible to celebrate new talent without erasing the contributions of those who paved the way. And what's happening now, probably, as a matter of fact, definitely, feels like a slap in the face to the veterans, a slap in the face to the women who put the first brick down in the league. They're being told to sit down, be quiet, and be grateful for these scraps of attention that they're getting. It's a classic case of disrespecting the ones who built the house while rolling out the red carpet for the new guest. We need to do better. We need to protect women athletes. We need to celebrate all the players, uplift their voices, create a space where everyone feels safe, everyone feels respected. The WNBA is more than just a basketball league. It's a symbol of empowerment. It's a symbol of resilience. It's a symbol of the past, what came before. It's a symbol of the future. Got little young ladies who are out here watching that league and hoping to one day play in it. Put the face of somebody that you care about there and ask yourself, would I sit idly by and let somebody abuse my child, my niece, my friend? Would you do that? Silence is complicity. Silence is complicity. We have to change the narrative. We have to get the temperature turned down. We do not want the bricks that were laid by all the women in the past and the bricks that have been laid down by these rookies this season. We don't want all of that to be in vain. Let's not let hate tarnish the legacy. That is a wrap on this week's wrap up. But hey, guys, do me a favor because I'm putting a lot of work into the weekly wrap up and I'm trying to make sure that I get it out to you every week. So if you can do me a favor, if there is anyone that you know that you think will be entertained by my take on this week in entertainment, please share this with them. And if you've not yet done so, please hit the subscribe button. I really want to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I know it's a big ask, but please do that for me. Also, make sure that you're dropping comments down in the comment section below because I love to hear what you think about all of these topics. You know, do the YouTube stuff, hit the like button, turn on your notifications. If you want to support the channel, look in the description. There are a myriad of ways of doing that. And yeah, join me back here next week, Monday, for the next installment of the weekly wrap up. You will not want to miss it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.